Morning, folks. How you doing? Happy Coffee Day. What's Coffee Day? If you like coffee and you have it, it's a good day. It's a little weaker than normal. My second cup. Okay, it is 6:05 a.m. Monday, January 15th, 2018. 6:06. Intuition completion. All your abilities. It's also relative to my finishing. Anyway, for me, what matters is what the numerology message is for you, okay? That's why it's there. There's another video I've been waiting to put out for a little while, but I wanted to put this one out first. To our friends that sent the coffee mugs, thank you. I've got a red Ferrari now. A red one and a yellow one. Dan and I really appreciate all your gifts that you've sent. I never wanted things to turn out the way they did. Personally, the difficulty I went through doing what I had to do here with no help on the other side, but more importantly, consults costing money, having to say what I am. I never wanted any of that. The other side is changing. It's about to make a big change. Then everyone's life will get better. It's closer to happening now. 2 days ago, I was writing in book number 3, writing it. And I was talking about Serenity and these children that have been made from really powerful source bodies with really powerful source in them. There's a lot coming from Deanna and I, and there's others. It's not about any one or two people. Creation is about everything. My original email, I called myself Uncle Jay. I don't know what to call myself. I'm like your big brother, your older brother. If I get any bigger, I'll explode. The cirrhosis in my liver's gone crazy. It's nuts. Turning into a balloon, literally. Anyway, I wanted to take care of the other side, drop off the information and go, and it didn't turn out like that. So, whatever. Let it be what it is. The important thing is that the change is coming. I had to talk about myself a little bit. The question is, why? The answer is, you need to know about the change coming. You need to understand more about yourself. You need to know what I am. So if something does happen, which it's going to, a lot of things are going to happen. When people, as time goes on, as people understand what happened, they need to know that there's no God thing. There's nothing that thinks it's any better than anything else. There's something that serves, because that's what it was made to do. People that really find that arrogant, and people that can look and listen to me, and look me in the eye as I give you these videos, just through the camera, and tell me that they think I'm arrogant, they need to do some mirror time where they go into the mirror, look at themselves, go into their own eyes. Don't look at your flesh. Go inside the eyes. That's where you're at. That's the real you. That body is the vehicle you're driving. And I'm tired. Anyway, I was writing in a book talking about Serenity, and when I did, I just automatically went to her. I can't help it. Folks, I'm just like you. I'm in a body having a life. I'm stronger, but I'm doing things that are taking everything I have. So there's equality everywhere, folks. None of us is any better than anyone else. The sooner we realize that, the sooner we settle down, grow, and move forward. You can do it separately, but it'll be happening together. No one's got to hang around a table holding hands singing Kumbaya, but we are family. And no one's allowed to be abusing anyone anymore. Now, in physical body, stuff happens. You're going to have strife in life. Okay, but not abuse. This is insane. You really need to understand how we got here and why things are the way they are. And as they change, you need to know that there's something out there, an older brother and your oldest brother and your oldest sister are incredibly powerful, strong as things are anywhere, and they literally are doing everything to take care of you, and they don't want shit for themselves. My last life, I was Gandhi, in the body of Gandhi. That same spirit inside Gandhi is what's inside this body. I've never wanted crap for myself. I've said before, I have a hard time taking a thank you. Now they go, so great or something. It's just, it's almost like I'm allergic to it. I don't do something for that. I'm just being what I am, what I was made to be. I never wanted the consults to be so expensive. The money was necessary to make other things happen and to spread this. I'm not doing this alone. I'm starting it and making it happen, but y'all are the ones doing this, just like y'all are going to run creation soon. Yep. Come 2020, y'all are going to start running yourselves. When you're out of body, you're going to be running yourselves in body. It starts happening then. By 2025, y'all should be getting a hold of it. No one's ever run lives except for the original first being male and female, and they're dead. Gone forever. Everything else that wanted to do that and was a problem, they're dead too. When you have a cancer, you have to cut it out. Little flash of the light there. That's literally Port Lily. There's that old saying of live and let live, namaste. Well, guess what? When something doesn't want to let you do that, to be free to live the way you want, it needs to be dealt with. And you don't deal with it by saying, I hope you get better, I hope you change your mind. You deal with it. When it's your job to deal with it, you deal with it on a permanent basis. Some people were thinking I was a little nuts, and then all of a sudden they start seeing what I was doing inside people's brains, the quantitative electroencephalogram. And they start figuring out, well, I guess this guy Jay's got, maybe he's worth listening to. What I have to tell you is about the importance of yourself, who you really are, how come you never got to be who you really are, what's been wrong, and that it's changing. Excuse me, there's no parade, there's no thank you, and praise is a destructive thing. If anything was worth your praise, like this God thing supposedly, it not only wouldn't want it, it wouldn't allow it. This has all been done to everyone from the very first life. So, and it's over now. Anyway, those of y'all that have sent the DNA ICUC progress reports and everything, I appreciate it. At this point, please hold on and just keep a diary of it. The proof from these scientists will be out shortly after this body drops, and it's not much longer. There'll be others doing this. And all the other family members cranking people up. That does change your DNA, and that's going to be proven too. It's not the DNA ICUC, but it does change your DNA. It has to. You run so much more metaphysical energy through your body, your DNA has to have heavier wiring, thicker wiring. Just think of it as that, okay? But that's about 57% of the change in your DNA. The rest of it is to make other things happen. So, to enhance your using your abilities. There is not, never has been, any wonderful, perfect, all-loving, forgiving God and everything else. There was the original first being. It split itself into male and female. Folks, books, my creation series, the creation series that I wrote, and I wrote it for everyone. That's why it had to be written. I had to leave it here for you when I left. Book 1 is about where you came from, how it all started. Book number 2 is about the war that went on, which was the free creation. It's over. We won. And, there's nothing to dwell on. It's sad anyway. The whole thing is sad. How the original first being just was created out of happenstance, happened to be what it was, but it released us, and we're all part of a large family, but we don't have to hang out together, whatever. So now the big change is it's already come, but you can't see it. It's on the other side, second dimension. Right above us, that's the second. There's not fourth, fifth, and all this new stuff coming. People hear that and they feel something good about it. The spirit guides will give them the feeling like, okay, there's something here, but everything's wrong as far as names and everything else. That's one reason I had to write the books too. Speaking of which, book number 3 has got all kinds of stuff in it. Anyway, I was talking about serenity, writing in book 3, the creation, the last one. Book 1 is how everything started. Book 2 was the source war to free everyone up. And book number 3 is what's coming in your future. The change, how the new format's going to change your lives as yourself. Free-form spirit flowing around the second dimension, and how it's going to affect it here. But by the way, you'll come down here too. Whenever you want. You're finally going to have freedom in and out of the body. Isn't it time? You're going to run your own lives. As long as no one gets abusive, good. Anything does, someone's going to be right there to take care of that. Ain't going to happen anymore. These abuse frequencies are going to be created again. Where things need to be smoothed out because we're learning how to do this stuff, and we continually learn. We improve. Remember, no such thing as perfect. There's nothing that just goes there. There's no God. Sorry. Anyway, Lily will be there to take care of that. There's many focal points of Lily. So anyway, I was writing in a book, like I've said 4 times, I guess, and talking about Serenity coming, and Serenity and Melee, mostly Serenity, and then Melee almost as much. Melee is Serpatient. They're like the Neantids. 4 legs to walk on and 2 arms, but they can, they're not quite limited to that as far as their abilities, their middle legs. But anyway, they're not as tall. They average about 6 foot instead of 8 to 10 foot, like the Nantids. Anyway, they've been in the house a lot. The Arcobian are too. We're going to talk about some of these races. Folks, there's hundreds of races that are outside, that are in space, and that are here on the planet and out in space, helping us. All this is going to come to be public knowledge. Some of the stuff I tell you, it'll be a long time before it comes out. It'll be 2080, 2084 before the face start making physical bodies showing you that. First thing you got to get used to is the life on other planets that's here. So, but anyway, Serenity and I mean, I was thinking of Serenity when I was writing in a book mentioning that and these children that had just been produced from necessary materials from Deanna and I. Like I said, there are others out there. But I was thinking of Serenity, and when I do that, I go to her. It's natural. And all of a sudden, she started talking to me, and she basically said that I saw her, I felt her, she sent me a love, I sent her my love, and she said she was coming to take the two things out of my heart. She asked me to tell Deanna that I'm not showing up. They have scanners where you can see into the future. 2 weeks is pretty accurate. A couple of months is still okay, kind of on the money. Kind of basically correct. But their daily scans a few months ahead, I'm not in there. I'm not here anymore with this body. So it doesn't mean I'm going to die tomorrow or in 2 months, but it means it's finally time to go. So she wanted to get these implants out of my heart, and to help Deanna deal with it. Deanna and I have a very close relationship. She's very special. I love everyone and everything, but my family members I'm closer to. And while I'm a body and I have this heart, I'm going to be closer to them. Probably out of body too. I can't tell you everything about myself out of body. I'm stuck here and I'm blinded about most things just like you. I'm just lucky enough to have the power level to help me get out of this body of tar so I can see more, do more. I wasn't made to be normal, average, regular. I was made to be different to serve a function. That's changed a little bit for the better. It's like, don't tell me what to do, but I'm here to do everything I can for all of you. I've proven that. I have left a monetary trail this life. Look what I did last life as Gandhi. You can't wear one of those, I forget what you call them. Most of what I remember of that life is really rough. The pain, the sorrow, the anger, the despair, the fear it's not fear, but the frustration and concern that I wouldn't be able to do as much as I wanted to because I knew the original female and male would keep me from doing it. Sure enough, they did. I was free in India, and then they turned it to shit. That's the way they are. Oh, 9/11, 3/11, the 11/11 catastrophe stuff, that's going to start changing. Big time. It's going to turn around. It's going to flop. Just like creation's format. Boom, it's flopping. Yes, we are talking about ETs. Just a minute. There's 11 families different races, families I want to talk about. So anyway, trying to break away from the other train of thought. A lot of what I'm doing, I am going soon, and I'm trying to summarize a little bit about what I've been trying to do. The most important thing to me is that y'all are free and protected. But it's also, I'm not going to lie, the second thing that's really important to me is that I care. Is that you start to develop a sense and a fact, an understanding for the fact that not only do I love everything, I'm here to take care of everything, and I'm pretty damn selfless. You don't see nice clothes. You don't see a nice car. Like I said, my truck is a 2000 Chevy. The passenger door won't even open. Everything was done, everyone wrong since the very first life. That's all changing now. And religions would say, you have free will, really? You make decisions for everything in your life and everything goes your way? You'll make a decision, but does it turn out like that all the time? Hell no. Anyway, no time wasted there. Let's start talking about some of our ET friends. These are folks that I've dealt with personally. There's a couple of them I've gone to and dealt one group I've gone to and talked to, and they got a little stupid. They felt it, and that's that. That's the Enog. All right, let's cover some of these races. Remember, there's all kinds of folks here. There's so many different races from Zeta Reticuli system. There's so many here in the planet. The Nordics, okay, they're a very old race. They've been around a long time. A lot of them will have, what is the LH or something gene? I don't know. Tired, don't know, and I really don't care. That's a bad attitude to have, but hey, whatever. Tired, sick. RH, that's what it is, RH. Which, by the way, that's related to Atlantean, okay? That's where it came from, Atlantis. It came from the Adamic race, but most of it that's still around had come from Atlantis, which is in the bottom of the North Atlantic Ocean, folks. It's under Antarctica. You have a huge starship that doesn't run. There's no need for it. It's like a city on the ground. They have to keep things going just to make sure it stays waterproof. They do. Okay, there's a video up there too. I'll put it at the end of this video, which is one of the main spots where you can get in and out. There's 4 basic locations where you can get in and out through the South Pole, Antarctica, the polar ice cap in the south, whatever you call it. It's where you get through the ice down into the get towards the ship. That's the good guys. Okay. I know one time there was something popped up in front of my face on the internet when I was trying to load up a video. I think it was Buzz Aldrin or something, I don't know. And saying, pure evil exists and it's under Antarctica or something. Wow, really? Take your meds, man. Come on. Don't pull others onto this crazy trip. Poor guy's older, tired, and wants attention. I understand. When you can see things being done to people, when you're looking at them, seeing spirit mess with them, when you can see how their lives were, look into their DNA and see that, when you see all this stuff, you understand why things happen. It takes away anger. I look at everything happening, unless someone is actively hurting someone, I feel sadness. I feel like maybe I screwed up somehow. Come on, heart, hang in there. Anyway, anyway, at the end of the video, I'll put a little thing for that, for the Antarctica thing. There's more to it than that. There always is. I can't talk about one thing. Anyway, these are some of the ET races that I'm aware of, and most of them, half of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 11 have been mentioned. I'm going to go ahead and mention someone else too that Sereni told Dan and I yesterday. I think it was yesterday morning. That is going to be coming around. She was here in the house night before last. her name is Elia. Deanna spells it Elia, and I spell it Aeliea. A lot of the wording, the lettering, the way I spell different words, the way it comes to me when I talk with them, telepathy, it's got a Greek connotation to it. It's a bit Greekish, okay? Reason why, the original Greek, it was short form for like an abbreviated format of Atlantean. Just whatever. Just is. Anyway, all right, let's start with the Anunnaki. We all know about the Anunnaki, okay? We've heard of them. Oh, they're evil reptiles. No, they're not. They're awesome people. They're very big. They're very strong. The ones on this planet, the ruling classes on this planet, were, keyword, were, extremely aggressive and abusive. Okay? They tried to rule with fear. They had people that worked, humanoid people that worked underneath them. They stayed in the ground, most all. A lot of these military bases have got huge, elevators going down below them, and they're in the lower levels. An average, maybe 18 and 19, probably 19 and below. It's also where the prisons are, where they've been keeping ETs down here. There's folks out there from other planets that have been running around. They go up to some of the greatest minds in the universe that they can find that weren't attached somewhere else, and they say, look, we have an offer for you. We're going to take care of your family. You're going to pay all this. Here's all this, whatever. They have different things, some money, jewels, stuff. And then here's this house for your family. As soon as you say the word, we're going to put them in there. So they put the people in a house, and if they agreed, they put their family in a house, took care of them, everything seems nice. They come down here to the earth, and then they go down into the elevator, and then it's closed. They're prisoners. That's been going on a long time. But there's been generations. These people usually live a lot longer than us. They've been living down there. There's generations being born and dying in slavery. The Anunnaki themselves, the problematic ones is what I call them. I used to call them Ananites. I didn't want to sound like a child, but they're a bunch of ninnies, okay? They're schmucks. They started controlling things on this planet they came here about 11 million years ago. About 10.25 million years ago, they started taking over control over more of the planet, running things. And then eventually they were the major power. They had control of stuff here. There's been 6 ages on this planet. We just went from the 5th to 6th age with no issues whatsoever. The polar caps were supposed to turn. I mean, the magnetic guy's heartbeat is supposed to flip. It was kept from doing so by Arae, one of the 2 huge male source beings, and he's now dead. He's gone, except for little teeny droplets of the cloud. He had issues. Anyway, he kept the Earth from turning around. A lot of scientists, they've been able to map out what they call the heartbeat of the planet. It's the magnetic pulse. People, the magnetic electrical pulse that goes through your body, that's the 5th, and that was the 5th energy field to come into the other 4 already together in the first dimension to make the first being. That's where we come from. That's why it's in us. It's part of us. So, it's like electricity, but it's not true. That's what people say. Electricians and doctors, it's a form of electrical, it's just different. Yeah, I know. Like I said, being strong and being the old fart of creation, I see this stuff, I know it. When you see things for yourself, you understand. The truth is the best possible way that you've been able to put together information, consume it, and understand it. So, a tree falls in a forest, and you live in a city. The hard truth is, that tree fell. But for you, that might not be true. You weren't there. It's another reason why awakening, people have to open up their minds to understand that they're a lot more than they ever thought they were. And that anyone else could be anything other than what they're aware of in themselves. That's the biggest issue. That, and you've all also, maybe bigger issue than that actually, is the fact that everyone's been made to feel insecure about the possibility of having abilities and everything else when it's a part of you. It's like totally neglecting the fact you have a left arm. So, alrighty then. So these problematic Anunnaki came down here when the Earth was being colonized a long time ago. They were spread out pretty good. The Anunnaki home planet itself, right now, it's in the Pleiades galaxy. You can actually call them Pleiadian. Where they start from, smaller places here and there, and then they came together at one location and had to move once. Whoops. But for now, that's where it is. Anyway, and the Anunnaki themselves and the Pleiadian get along great. How about that? Didn't know that, did you? The more you open up and become yourself, the more that you find out for yourself. When you find something out for yourself, it's easier to finish understanding it, or at least understand it, which enhances your personal truth. So anyway, the Anunnaki here have been running things for a long time. Like I said, about 10 and a quarter, million years. They stay underground. They had a group of humans. We all have reptilian DNA in us. Okay, there's not even 100 people on the planet that don't have Anunnaki DNA, reptilian DNA in them. It's basically the same thing, Anunnaki. That was done by forced crossbreeding and other stuff long time ago. Every time the Adamics came here, 5 different times, they were eventually physically abused into crossbreeding. So the Adamic race is actually the earth and the body made for the earth and civilizations to grow from. But we've had so many other folks here from other planets that were a hodgepodge, were mutts. That's one reason why our DNA, we're in the top 4 planets that have life on it with DNA that can absorb and blend with a lot of different, the most amount of various races from other planets. So it's one reason we've been popular. That gold and silver we had in abundance. Most of that's gone now. Anyway, so the Anunnaki came here. They were a controlling factor. They had people that were high royal, the 7 major clans, and then the 6 worker groups. And the 7 ruling clans, they're the strongest. There's a bunch of clans here, okay? It depends. How many clans are there? Well, it depends on where you want to make the definition for what constitutes a clan. You can say there's 28 clans here, okay? Anyway, there's 7 families that are the top, that are the ruling factors, and or they were. The Drog have come and gotten rid of them. There's a few of them here, just little issues, but a lot of the prisoners have been freed already, most of them. Finally got taken home. And the mess in creation is just disgusting, especially why it happened. But anyway, I don't want to pull away from what we're talking about. The Anunnaki people themselves, incredible. A deep, beautiful, rich culture. They're aggressive, all right. They're reptilian. If it's wartime, watch out. But when it's not, which is the biggest case, the most often, by far, their culture's incredible. When someone's that aggressive and they have that love and compassion in them, you've never seen something work so hard to help you. All the stuff people are fed about the Anunnaki, almost 90+% of it, probably 98% of everything on the internet that you've heard about Anunnaki is bull. We'll go ahead and sneak this in there, the Enog. The way I write it is Enaugk. The Enog are the ones that call themselves the Sumerian gods. And a lot of people want to link that with the Anunnaki. It's not. It's the Enog. They're like, they have more funky heads, ugly things. I say that with no hesitation. I realize the human body is ugly to, the earth and human body is ugly to many races, but these folks, it's their attitude that puts the extra, it puts the big U in ugly. The UG in ugly. They're small, 3-4 foot, 5 foot's a tall one, real tall. They have water heads, kind of compressed, aggressive, nasty attitude, feeling, features. They're like a Sapoean, a gray that has grown thicker, bigger, wider, more towards a human, but it's not. They tend to be extremely arrogant. As a race, they're extremely abusive. A lot of your cattle mutilation and abductions that are nasty, stuff like that, that's them. You want to find out a little more about them? That movie, The Fourth Kind. Mia Jovovich, I think, is in that movie. She's a family member. I can't remember the other names. That's the only reason I remember hers. But anyway, the movie, it's up at around, I think it's around Alaska or something, that this stuff was happening. People being pulled out of homes, ripped out, and the police actually saw it. They saw the ship come over the house, and they go right through the roof, which is, I could spend 2 hours on a video explaining how they can do surgery when they're up in a ship, and you're down here in the ground. And when they pulled the stuff out of my heart, they took me up there. That's too delicate. My heart is so weak that the blood's, wanting to just finish sifting right through my, right through the walls. So I had to be nearby, but they quote unquote beam it out, but it goes interdimensional, and that's how they pull it out. They put it in interdimensional. It comes out through your body, which it's not really in your body anymore. It's interdimensional, and then it appears in her hand. It's like those probes they send flying around, sometimes like a round orb, metallic orb, all of a sudden disappears. And you're like, did I see that? No, it can't be. God wouldn't let it. All this crazy stuff comes into people's minds. You were set up like that. That's why it's hard for you to break it. But I'm telling you, y'all are awesome. You don't even know yet. Some of you do, but more of you are going to find out. Anyway, So the Anunnaki, that's basically where they're at. They're reptilian DNA that eventually had come. It didn't come from the Drakh race. It came from the same thing, Arae and Lily. Different body. One that was made to be strong, but didn't need to be strong as the Drakh. That was intentional for the best of reasons. So, they're wonderful people. Don't freak out when you see them. The ones here are the ones that have been a problem now. And like I said, they're pretty much wiped out as far as their control system against us is wiped out. Okay, there's a power void in there that's being handled. The whole breakdown on that, it's in book 3, okay? I break down exactly how that happens, who's controlling who, all the steps and how it goes down through the government, governments, hit squads, cartels. There's so much going on. They've been controlling physical life on this planet for millions of years. So I tell you all about that. Anyway, so that's who the Anunnaki people are, is the ones that were here, that stayed here, were like a bunch of pirates that came back in the days of Lemuria. They came in, decided they were going to stay, and they really affected life on this planet. And that's book 2 and 3 describe that in good detail. Especially the chapter in book 2 on Lemuria, I believe. But Atlantis is when he started going nuts. Okay, now the Drakh. The Drakh are the very first race. I know there's no time to talk about all these races, okay? But I could talk about each race for 2-3 hours. I have friends that are these people. Okay, I talk to them all the time. Usually when I do videos, I'm relaxed, and lots of times that's when I can finally come in and say something. People have said I'm hard-headed. They have no idea how right they are. There's a lot of energy inside me, and it's dying to come out. I'm always going like this. I can't stand it. I'm trying to calm down the energy in my head. But anyway, when I get like this, I relax. I have Anunnaki friends. I've had a lot of Anunnaki lives. I had one that was really bad. I had 11 children and my wife, and they were all butchered. And I lost it and did something really bad. To mostly bad people, but it was on a large scale anyway. We all have things we regret, things we've done that it's like, why did I do that? Well, usually you have energy going inside you, spirit going inside you, and they go through your crowns into the hypothalamus and actually run you. That's what the original first angels used to do to everyone. That's how they ran them. They were servants. They weren't trying to be mean. They were doing their job, and they had to. So, anyway, the Drakh. The Drakh are the oldest race. They're over, I think it's 2.8 quadrillion Earth years old. Two quadrillion 857 trillion 100 billion 400 million plus Earth years old. Oh, hey. Now this is a picture of almost exactly what the Enoch looked like, okay? These folks have attitude. That literally came from someone's mind that had to deal with them. It's a woman and a man involved in that. Anyway, So for the Enog, they're being kept away. They're not a member of this new alliance. They never will be, not unless they turn around 180%, make a 180-degree turn. And that won't be for a while anyway. It'd take a lot more than 100 years for them to prove they actually changed. The only ones in there that are problematic, but got in anyway, are the mantids. We'll go there in a minute. Now, the Drakh, Lily and Arae, I was there with her. The first life we had was short. It was on a planet called Arae. She's 270 times the mass of Jupiter. She's blown up now. There's pieces of her here, especially in star Essonite. Essonite is any stone that has her and Gaia's material in it. If the material's there as part of the body that was in it, the spirit that was that planet moves in and out of it anytime it wants. Arae, if she wants, she'll go inside your body, no problem. She's a serious planetary essence. Serious planet woman, whatever. The other planets consider her the mother of planets. She's the strongest of the planet essence. And she's here to help. The first life was extremely abusive, and Lily and I had made bodies relative to what we are. Plant, animal, human, fae, planetary, everything. Really weird looking bodies. Let's just leave that alone. We were literally ripped apart by some kind of looking velociraptor on steroids looking thing that the original first being male and female put down there for us to have to deal with. We were shredded, and we made eye contact while we were just finishing being ripped apart. The original first being male and female wanted to go ahead and give us the ultimate abuse to see how it affected it. And we got out of the body. I took my energy, and it's like slapping them in the face. They made a mistake. They made what I am inside Arae really, really strong. Just small, but such condensed, powerful energy. They had no idea how things would turn out, what they were really doing. They wanted to make something strong to protect them, but they were so arrogant, they figured everything would just always do whatever they said, no matter what. Anyway, the second life, I talked to Lily and I said, honey, just follow my lead. And when we went back down to the planet and made another body, I made the Drakh body. She followed suit. And when those velociraptors came by, whatever they were, we ripped them apart like they were paper mache. Like they were bars of butter. That's the birth of the Drakh race. That's who these people are. Now, over all these years, and that's a lot of them, 2.87 plus thousand trillion. Their DNA's changed. It's still very incredibly strong. It's not as strong as the first bodies, doesn't matter. They're the most powerful race that's ever existed, and they were the first. Their intelligence is, nothing can stand up to it. The only thing that comes close other than the Antids. They were the second race. They're the second oldest race. And really cool. We'll be there in a minute. So, anyway, the Drakh have a great culture, but they're different. They know they are. They don't get involved with much stuff, but when they do, if you have a room with 500 Anunnaki, over 500 Anunnaki, and I'm talking about a personal experience I had, astral projecting. I had to be at a meeting, and I was. And they walk in, the first one walks in the room, everyone shuts up. 2, 3, less than 4 seconds later, there's not a whisper in that room. That's the respect that they carry. Fair, honorable, oh hell yes. It's part of who they are. That's where the bodies came from. Honor. Don't mess with them though. They're the ones that came here to stop this crap. They did. They have. The Neantids were a very big part of it. They've been part of this planet way before anything else was. And again, be there in a second. So anyway, the Drakh have technology. They're the ones that actually have, it's like a transportation beam that you can shoot at that thing with a cannon. It ain't going through. Their technology's, well, it's older than anyone else, but it's incredible. When a Drakh ship shows up somewhere where there's a fight, if everything doesn't stop immediately, they stop it. If they bothered to come down there, they're there for a reason. There's a Drakh ship that came here a while ago. I talked about it on video. Don't remember the video. It's not important that I made the video. It's important that you know. It was almost the size of the planet. It broke off into different pieces. There's 4 huge pieces, 3 other smaller pieces. There's 4 pieces of that ship in space close to the Earth all the time. There's a police force that's here now that came in. Not only are we not alone, we're just a little speck in the sandbox. Anyway, so that's the Drakh. And again, I go into detail in the book to explain stuff all the way through it. I'm very close with them for a reason. This new alliance, when that meeting, the initial meeting to create this new alliance happened, there were some Source family members there, a good few of them. And I explained that in the last book. This new alliance, there was this federation, they were garbage. They did some good things, but they were about themselves, and they did more harm than anything else. When the Enog the Enog would go to them to get a permit to come down here to a planet to mutilize animals, people, take them, and then, pull whatever they want out of them, and then just leave them naked in the middle of a road in 10-degree weather. They're trash. Whatever. The race, I can't say that about the race, but the way they usually are, most of them trash. The ones out here running around, totally trash. When it comes to Fae, the imps, the small guys, they're usually about 27% lower frequencies. Okay? So they cause more issues than normal. All the story about the evil elves and everything, that they're people, they're like us. There's more people that are problematic and aggressive in physical form than are in the energy bodies that the Fae have, which is where we're all going anyway, a modified form of that. That'll be a couple thousand years. Anyway, let's leave the Drakh there. So the Neantid, its Antids is what it usually was in Hopi lore. L-O-R-E, lore. My pronunciation isn't too good, and especially recently. But they talk about the ant people. Take a little time to look at those legends. It's true. Who's that famous Admiral Byrd, B-Y-R-D, that found the Hollow Earth? He found a cave to go into to get out of the cold, to keep from dying, and they ran right into a Antid, actually the Antid colony. And he was in there, literally, against the wall, all dirty and everything else, being kept warm, and he was dreaming all this stuff. There were 3 Nantids right there in his head, showing him all this wonderful things. They did not want anyone to see what was really there. The blue avian. The Corey Good talks about Arae to ear. What? That's to ear. Okay, he's a Nantid. As a matter of fact, I kept saying Nantid, and I was talking to him one time. I was being rude. I don't mean to be. I'm tired. I'm worn out from all the fighting. Now this body's just about dead. But when I was doing this, I wasn't polite enough to look at. I saw him. I just went right to him. I wasn't polite enough to see if he was busy doing something, and he was. And he wasn't too happy about that. And of course, for that he'll always have my apology. But I said, look, you got to give me something better than antid. That's wrong. It's incomplete, because you don't just look like ants. And he kind of quickly said, Nantid. I'm like, okay. Then, kind of like, whoops, sorry about that. Wait till you find out what y'all can do. And it's part of you. It's natural. It's not a gift from God. No, it's you. It's who you are. It's as natural as this once you know you can do it. Anyway, so that's what that, hollow earth thing is about. Hollow earth, I might have said flat earth. I don't know. It's the hollow earth thing. There's still people trying to throw that flat earth thing. I was like, wow, really? The earth is not perfectly round. Neither's your head. Who cares? I mean, for Pete's sake, get over it. If that's all anyone has to blab about, they need to get outside more. There's a world out there. Sounds like I'm being mean, beating them up. Maybe I'm pushing them a little bit to do something for themselves. Doesn't affect me. I want the best for all of you. That's all I want. Anyway, so Tyr is not a blue avian. There's no such thing. That's an image that he projects to talk to people, especially because this group he talks with, they have this like blue sphere alliance, whatever. Oh, for Pete's sake, the Nantids, it was their technology more than anything else. It's really their technology that built the spheres. Other people are involved in it. It's like a little project, community project, but it's the Nantids technology, just not all of it, that put that together. And there's a lot of humans involved. This is like a step trying to get some of the governments and people on the other edges, fringes of the governments of the different countries, and on some other planets too, to come together to start doing something. So they threw out the blue avian body into everyone's heads so they would see something what? Blue is a soft, relaxing color. Feathers are very soft, no fear. Even the beak is real small, so you're not worried about it pecking your eyes out. And that's not Tyr trying to hide at all. It's not him lying. It's him doing everything he knows possible at his own expense to try to get the communication started. If somebody wants to fault him for that, then I don't think too much of their personal thought process. A lot of people like to complain. They sit there, do nothing but complain about everything else. Hey, shut up and do something other than run your mouth. Oh, Jay talks on video all the time. You have no idea what I've been doing. You should. I've talked about it. I've shown it. Most everything I've done, only a few people are privy to. They've seen. Anyway, the thing is, there's something I saw. The wording wasn't quite right, but there's so many people that say you can't do nothing. They just basically need to shut up and let the people who are already doing it continue. I can't do it, so you can't either. Yeah, and I'm better than you, and my mommy loves me. Whatever, man. On the internet, there's so many people that are like that. They have a little forum, a little room to act out in. They don't know anything, and they're saying it to everyone, look at me, I know everything. It's like, if anyone tells you they know everything, first thing you do is, honestly, back up, take a look at them, and then put it in reverse, turn around, put it forward, and just keep going. Nobody knows everything. Everyone's always learning. Hopefully, people are learning, moving forward. Anyway, most of them aren't. They're stuck in this me thing, and it's silly. That gets you nowhere. Okay. The Nanted are really cool. Tyr, he's a family member too. It's what I call one of my kids. He's neat. He's about 10 foot tall, really strong. The Nantids, they look like an ant and partial praying mantis combination. Incredibly intelligent, talking through telepathy, but they also have this clicking and slurring sound. I don't know how to describe it, okay? A lot of the words, actually all the words that I have names for these races are words given to me for them or already existed that they're good with to describe who they are. Anunnaki, Drak, Naantid, Mantid, Serpoian, Serpatient, Allurian, Subdralian, Arcobian, Enoch, and a Draconian. Anyway, I better hurry up. The Naantid are very compassionate, cool people. They're awesome. Okay? When you meet them, you're going to love them. But they don't look, they're insectoid. They're strong. I've said before in one of my videos, Tyr is strong enough to throw a car. Serpoian. I'm sorry, Mantids. The Mantids are more insectile. They're almost exactly like a praying mantis. They're usually very aggressive. They have attitudes. They tend not to have a lot of heart energy at all. Reptilian DNA is aggressive. Insectoid energy is not. It's at least it's more aggressive, and it's less caring. So heads up on that, okay? Now that's not the case with the Naantids, okay? And the Mantids are members of this new alliance. Right now it's basically thought of as the Alliance of Planets, but soon it'll evolve into something they're going to call the Alliance of Life. How do I know that? Not important. You don't need to believe that. I'm just telling you because I want you to know. Serpoian. These are the what we call the Greys. Serenity is about 5'8", 6 foot, right around there. I think about 5'8", 5'10", 5'8", whatever. Anyway, and she's kind of tall for Serpoian. There was something that happened years ago. I'm going to tell you something that doesn't match with everything you might have heard about the astronauts. I think there's 12 of them took off for Serpo. There's supposed to be 14, then went down to 12, and I think 10 came back, something like that. I should care more to look, but I'm not worried about that. The thing is that they went, and they wound up having to stay long. They're staying longer than they had anticipated. They they are shorter, average height 4+ foot, 4 foot. They have thinner structure, but they're strong for their size. If you take it, I'm not calling them chimpanzees, but if you take a chimpanzee, look at the size of their arms compared to a full-grown man. Take a full-grown chimp and compare his arms to a full-grown man. They'll tear a full-grown man apart in seconds. They're strong. The musculature is different. That's the way the Serponian are. They're from the Zeta Reticuli system. They have a couple suns on their off their planet I call planet Serpo. They're good with botany, plants and stuff, but they've always, they have their own gardens, they feed themselves and stuff, but they've always worked with living DNA of people and animals. They've always been experimenting with that. Now, the way they looked at it, the way they perceive it, they're trying to create life. They're trying to grow new things. They're trying to make things better everywhere. A lot of planets don't agree with that. As a matter of fact, if you look at those 2 books they have about Serpo, when the astronauts went down there and then most of them came back, there's at one point, and this is what happened. At one point, a fleet of ships came in, small fleet, and attacked the compound. There's three ships came in. 2 ships standing there. 1 ship attacked the compound. A 4th one farther off, and some other ships in the distance that still in space, staying away from the planet. And then it came in, attacked the laboratory where they were doing this, and then turned around and left. And of course, the Serponian fleet was there, but there wasn't a firefight. The other folks came in, did a strategic hit, and they left. It's actually written. You have it in writing, okay? The reason they did that is because some of their own DNA was being used to create other stuff, and that was sacrilegious to them. Their Serponian have never meant anything wrong by it. They were only trying to help. They're good people, and as a group. Remember, no matter where you go, what you see, whatever, there's good and bad. Anyway, that's why it happened. That's not in the book, but whatever, it doesn't matter. I just want you to know, and Serene is very much involved. She's the one in control, running this thing with these children, these new children that are coming. The DNA that made these children is incredibly powerful. It's completely flooded with source energy. And the children going in there are powerful, or in there, are powerful source energy. So, and there's better than 50 children out there that are very strong. But there's 48 of them. Man, wait till you see what happens. They'll be telekinetic, throwing stuff around. They'll be spread out through our known universe. There'll be 1 or 2 hanging out here a lot on Earth. It's just a sad thing for me right now. I need to be out of here and I can't wait, but it'd be nice to see them while I was in body, but that ain't gonna happen, I don't guess. Anyway, they're going to show what this new source from Arae and Lily is. Arae and Lily plus the children that came from them. We think of them as children, but they're just parts of them. But Serene and Mele and the Arcobian, they get involved too, but it's really Serene running things. That came in to take the materials and create the embryos and raise the children. When they do this, it's not cloning, it's the actual, egg and sperm thing. And they grow fast right away. Then they slow down to a normal growth. But the initial growth is fast. They're incredibly intelligent, very powerful. So, anyway, let me get away from that before it bothers me anymore. So anyway, the Saporian are like that. They're really cool. Sapacient. The Sapacient folk are, they evolved, a branch evolved off of the Neantids. The Neantids have always liked to burrow into a planet. That's their house. They don't build above, they live below. And they, they're incredibly, the Neantids are incredibly telepathic. Well, the Sapacien are too. But the Neantids, they're 8-10 foot tall. Sapacians, they're more like 6 foot. They're smaller. They can actually walk around the house, but not this house is hard. Anyway, they're incredible. They're wonderful. They really are. A lot of good heart. The largest base on the moon. They're now in it. There's a planet called Nibiru. It's not a planet. It's like a huge moon. We all have a way of looking at things and our names we want to put on them. That's fine. But literally, a planet is not a planet until there's living planetary essence inside it. And our moon has no energy inside it. Freaks people out. But the moonlight, I feel it. You feel star energy, which is male universal essence, very powerful, bouncing off a reflective surface and coming here to hit you. Before it hits you, what does it do? It goes through Gaia, planetary essence, universal female essence. So what hits you is a balance of universal essence, very powerful, male and female. So, and our sun, the star, the energy inside there is a spirit. Is a spirit made of Gaia. So it's very, very balanced. With universal essence, that's how they do it. The male star is there, and there's usually a few planets. Anyway, there's a lot to that, but I'm not going to go there. So anyway, the Sapacient, they're extremely good with botany, and they're also very good with physical, biology of animals, people, stuff like that. Also, I was talking about Nibiru. They call it Nibhu, N-E-B apostrophe a capital H-U. That's what it's called. That's them. Their wording, they're the ones on it. A long time ago, these pirate type of Anunnaki used to have a base on there. And they take off from that base and attack other planets, do raids. They're like pirates. The Anunnaki themselves are not, just this one group. Anyway, so they're long gone, and there's a huge installation down there of the Sapacien where they do the work, laboratories. A lot of it is done under the ground, although there are structures above ground too. There have to be force fields that protect the structures themselves, and the structures are made to take a hit too. Remember, when you don't have an atmosphere, you don't have anything to burn up stone. It's, meteors that come in. And most of the meteors, what is that? What's come here? Iron ore. Strong stuff, okay? Folks, everything, when you can relax, open your mind, and just look at what's coming in, you see things for what they are. That's the whole awakening thing, becoming yourself and becoming aware of what's really going on. Again, simple as a tired old dying fart in overalls. That's the beauty of it. So, anyway, that's what that is. It's called Neebhu. It's not going to crash here or anything else. So many people want attention, so they create sensationalism when there's nothing there. I've gotten some attention, but I don't want any. I just want to do what I need to do. I want enough attention to where y'all listen to me. And that's it. I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying. I look like this for a reason. Okay, then there's the Illyrian. The Illyrian are really cool. The Illyrian have ships where they go over desert, not in the desert, but desert type land. They can do it in the desert, but the water drains out, so it defeats the purpose. They have to put in a barrier to maintain the water. But they have ships that can go over barren land and moisturize it, fertilize it, and plant it as they're slowly moving along. That's what they do. Now, by the time they finish the road, you don't have full-grown plants. Okay, that's cartoon stuff. But it's planted, and then it grows. They're incredible people. I keep saying I'm going to get this ET video out and showing you videos and explaining what they are. And I'm going to just trying to get other stuff done and the books and everything else. Anyway, the Illyrian are really cool. They're all over the place. They're showing themselves. They're intelligent. Very good people. Again, I talk more about them in the books, but you're going to meet them in person before long. Okay? Subterranean. The Subterranean and the Arcobian. The Subterranean and Arcobian were from the same planet. Subterranean, they're taller, 6 to 8 foot tall. A lot of them around, closer towards the 7, 8 foot tall mark. They're strong. They're aggressive to do stuff, not like reptilian, but when it's time to do something, they jump up and do it and relax the second they do. A lot of them have lived, as the word insinuates, in the ground. Usually it's like a hill, mountain, and living in the earth, but it's not so much as living below the surface. They're more like a cliff dweller type thing, type race, excuse me. And they're very strong, very hardy. Now, the Arcobian, they're really cool. They're in and out of the house all the time. They're wonderful people. Their body, their texture, they're softer, more delicate. They have a greater need and use for water and nutrients. They're more intelligent, but they're not as strong. They've actually developed over the years a symbiotic relationship. And I wasn't even aware of it until somebody came up to me. I was relaxing. Somebody came up. You have to look at this. You need to get involved. And I did. And there was an issue between the two of them in a certain place. Because they're both so cool, And they're awesome. And the Aracobian, they're learning more, and they don't need they're not holding on to that symbiotic relationship as hard as the Subterranean are. And there was an issue because of that. But both of them have all the relationships they need. They're both part of the founding members of the New Alliance. Like I said, they come from the same planet. So everything was fine. It was just somebody had to understand something. Understanding's power. People think hitting someone and knock them down is power. No, that's hopefully only necessary to stop something abusive from happening. Power is understanding. When you understand how things are and the best way to go around things, you have a whole lot less pushing, shoving, and hurting. The Arcobian, they pop in and out of here all the time. They're being taught so many things they were never aware of. They're not the oldest race, so they're learning. They don't have the heads up that a lot of folks do. You could say that compared to the other races, they're a little slower because they're learning. But if you put us up against them, kind of a bad joke. Anyway, we're so far behind. We're in the stick and stone throwing era. But that's okay. That's changing. That's what it's all about. Well, it's a big part of what it's about. So anyway, that's them as far as we're going to go now. I've already talked about the Enog. They were the great Sumerian gods. They made a point of telling everyone they're God. Do you want to talk about a Napoleon complex? Whoa. But they're aggressive, nasty, don't care. They don't care about nothing other than satisfying their wants at that moment and feeling like they're dominating over something. Anyway, they're being dealt with. They've been dealt with on and off, but their presence here is not allowed anymore. They pop in, they pay the price. This policing force I talked about, they do that. And then there's the Draco, the Draconian. This is a reptilian group that's not dragon. The Drak, they have a huge, above their heel, a bit above their heel, they have this like huge claw that comes down. When these folks walk, the ground shakes. Period. Period. They're tanks. They're living tanks. Over the years, that's calmed down a little bit, but folks, there's nothing like the Drak anywhere. Now and that I already explained why it came out of necessity. Things happen. It's just understanding what happened, why, and you keep going. There's nothing to stop and praise or all that stuff is crap. It's time to learn. It's time for you to have lives relative to your own frequencies. Where you just go out and like to explore, you'll be exploring without all the abuse. So you don't stick your arm out in the water and the shark bites it off. All right, there's so much senseless stuff that's happened in your life for other reasons. It's in the books. There's no time for that. We got to finish this anyway. So the Draconian, they're reptilian. They're not as tall. They're thinner, very slender. They're reptilian. They're strong, but it's like smooth scales. Well, they started literally. The race started pumping themselves up with Drak DNA every chance they could. It changed their appearance. It made them too aggressive. It's been screwing them up, and they want to be known for being fearless and everything else. Honestly, all they've done is hurt themselves. They are intelligent. They're very aggressive. They enjoy. They jump at the opportunity. It's not even so much enjoying. Most of them are like that from what they've done to themselves. They're overly aggressive. Always anxious to be that way. they don't hardly shut up unless they get a large Anunnaki or definitely the Drak show up. Then they just leave. They get out of there. Drak not too happy about what they did, but the Drak understand. They just leave it alone until they need to do something. The Drak have blown up all kinds of draconian ships. So, anyway, a lot of people think the Drak, the draconian, or the Drak. Oh, I heard about no, it's not them. You don't see the Drak. They don't come in until it's time. It was time they came. The ruling class of Anunnaki is gone. Everything will start changing, and it's already changed so much on the other side. That's going to get finished. You'll see everything changing here, which has already begun big time. The Drak, with the power behind it, the force field I mentioned, this video is to show that. That's all coming out in a real long video. Anyway, folks, this is long enough. Those are just some of the people here. There's a lot of different races here. This is not all of them. These are just the ones I deal with, I'm comfortable talking about, and, it takes a little time to talk about them anyway. So there's more coming, and I'll show you what some of these people, the Illyrian taking a huge sample, they're here to heal the planet, okay? They have huge motherships. The Drak have one time even grabbed a whole underground compound and pushed it up, pulled it up. The little small ships went out, cut it, then they put this casing around it, and then they pull it up. And then you see it get pulled through the Drak ship and then pushed up to the Illyrian mothership, and then it disappears in this cloud. This huge, huge thing disappears in a cloud. It goes through a big cloud that's very dark. The darker the clouds are, okay, the more energy they're putting towards hiding the vehicle. Anyway, you'll see that. It'll be out soon. Folks, look, love you. Take care of yourself. And try to take some time to just relax. Find a quiet space. Man, I'll tell you what, you get near a stream or something when there's not people there, or a lake, just ocean if you can. Just relax. Feel the balance that comes from water. But just let go of today, of the now for a moment. Let go of everything surrounding you. Just let it go. And just for a short time, take some full breaths. Let go. Breathe natural, relaxed, full breaths. Just relaxed, full breath. Don't take little short breaths is what I'm trying to say. And you'll find out. Once you relax and open up, people are waiting to talk to you like your spirit guides. They've been waiting forever. That's how it seems to them anyway. And they've been running your lives for a few years now. They've been doing it on their own the best they can. When you do finish your life and you get home, maybe it'd be nice to tell them thanks. I'll bet you do. Folks, love you, man. Take care.